As a child, you were innocently naive, and thus you allowed the other world to dim your light. Now, as a practitioner of the inner work, you are choosing to remain happy and innocent despite the struggles and challenges of life. This is your own testimony of the truth. Through your experiences, regardless of what has happened to you, here you are still choosing to trust in love and the goodness of life. This is what makes you truly courageous. That is what makes you wise. You can do this. We know this discussion on the ego mind can be a lot to face at first. It's not meant to be insulting. It's meant to re-empower you and assist you in remembering the truth of who you really are. Push past the mind's initial discomfort and buckle up, because this may be uncomfortable for a while, depending on how tightly the ego is clinging. Don't worry though, remembering the truth will be worth it. You're so powerful that you can be happy, satisfied, and free right now in your life you're currently living, despite your current circumstances. All you have to do is push past your ego's resistance, which is a monumental demonstration of your strength. Nothing external needs to change. You already have within you everything you need to transform the experience of your life. All you see in your world is the outcome of your idea about it, no matter what mind is saying as to why your story is different. And that your circumstances need to change for you to be free and happy. Disregard its excuses for now and keep reading. The truth is, we all have equal access to inner liberation, and it's entirely within our own control and power to access it. It's about the choice and experiencing and exercising our spiritual will. No one can take this opportunity to choose from you. It's just a matter of accepting the truth of your innate empowerment and doing the inner work to stay here. You are magnificent, perfect, whole, and complete. You are radiant, influential, full of love, and so important, which is why it is imperative for you to realize the truth of who you really are. For all the suffering in this world comes from forgetting of who we are. This message was prepared and meant specifically for you. You are intended for so much more, and it is time for you to accept this. More happiness, more love, more gratitude, more fulfillment, more peace. There is no limit on this thing called life, and you have just begun to scratch the surface of your potential. True happiness is lasting and ever-present, not to be confused with the temporary heats of pleasure that come from external ego gratification. We get taste of pleasure when we are able to successfully manipulate conditions and people to meet our ego's expectations. It makes us feel like we are in control of our circumstances, and this is satisfying to the ego's sense of mindness. My life, my circumstances, my desires met. While this may be temporarily satisfying, inevitably circumstances will shift out of our control. When this is revealed, the ego becomes terrified of its lack of control. In order to cope with this fear of the unknown, it creates mental delusions through judgment, opinion, inner commentary, and constant evaluations to mask its existential insecurity. In reality, the ego mind knows nothing, but has the audacity to claim it knows it all. When internalized, the ego judges itself harshly and cowers in fear and the challenges of life, and seeks to make us feel powerless and a victim. When projected externally, the ego's fear comes out through its desires to manipulate its conditions, circumstances, and other people through force. Using force, however, will always leave live it feeling defeated because life has a divine will of its own, which is far more powerful. We can only unlock the true fountain of freedom through surrendering. The ability to surrender to the divine will is actually the most powerful demonstration of our freedom. This is because surrendering requires us to have immense strength and inner discipline to continuously ignore the demands of a resilient, fearful ego. The ego is rooted in fear and lack and therefore cannot have faith and trust in something higher that is infinitely loving and supportive. Whenever we consciously ignore the demands of the ego to either cower in fear and victimization or attack with aggression and force, we prove our liberation. The one who is no longer servant to the demands of the ego mind is the only one who is truly free.